So this lady made people really mad. Check this out.
Tetris has long been touted as a video game that just can't be beaten because it just goes on and on.
Oh my God!
Well, 13-year-old American Willis Gibson has technically proven that wrong. He beat the original Nintendo version of the game by reaching such a high level that the coding froze. That left the program unable to generate any more falling blocks. As a mother, I would just say step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal. Speaking of fresh air.
So here's the thing. Out of all of the other news stories that I found while trying to find the original video of this, this was the only news story that I found that shed such a negative light that a 13-year-old beat a retro video game. And I think it's gotten to a point where it's so cringy that people of this age group seem to have such a negative outlook on video games. And I don't understand it, because this kid is 13 years old and she's talking about life goals. This kid probably doesn't even know what he wants to do with the rest of his life. I'm 30 years old and I still sometimes don't know what I want to do with my life. Like, I don't understand the negative narrative. And she's making such an assumption about this kid. Like, yeah, he beat a retro video game, so I'm sure he put a lot of time into it, but she's making the assumption that that's all this kid does. And even if that is the case, why does she care so much? People grow up to do all sorts of things that revolve around video games and make a living out of it, whether they become video gaming live streamers, they become great at esports, they become video game developers. It's interesting because I think we live in a day and age where everybody has to be offended about something and express that in a negative light, which I know is ironic with me being offended by this, but I do believe there's a difference between being offended by something and calling somebody out for being offended by something stupid and tearing down a 13-year-old child for beating a retro video game. It kind of reminds me about how some people seem to have this weird negativity around people who watch live streams, particularly live streams of people playing video games, and they say things like, well, why would you want to watch somebody play a video game when you can just play the game themselves? And these are the same people who watch sports on TV, and if you were to say to them, well, why would you want to watch people play a sport when you can just play the sport themselves? It doesn't make any sense. Because it doesn't make any sense. People just want to be offended by things. They want to tear people down. So at the end of the day, this 13-year-old kid beat a video game that no one else has been able to beat for almost 40 years, because Tetris came out in 1985. So good for the kid, and screw the news porter lady. That's all I got. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Yeah, that's it. Bye.